For those that you don't know me, I'm Paul O'Grady. I've been retained by the Will County Veterans Commission to do the investigation into the $495,000. I've begun my investigation. It's very voluminous. I've got a stack of documents on my desk this high. I've narrowed it down to relevant documents. It's about this big. I'm going through it. When I'm done going through it, and I want to tell you that the staff has been very cooperative with me in getting me all the documents that I need in a very timely manner, and audio recordings of meeting minutes, and then meeting minutes themselves, which I'm going through. After I'm done doing that, I plan on interviewing the staff and other members of the board as may be needed. The investigation is, we're looking backwards into a long period of time. It's quite a while ago. Tonight, after the meeting, they're going to tender to me some electronic devices that were the former superintendents. We're going to go through those and make sure that we're doing our complete due diligence, that we're looking for everything. We're going to try to look to see if there's what happened, how it happened, when it happened, and why it happened, and who was involved, and if anything was done improper. That's my charge, and I plan on doing it. And I told this board that I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to be rushed to a conclusion, that the investigation will be thorough, that I will issue a draft, or I will issue a report at the end of it with facts, with the 10 attachments that back up those facts, that I will look at everything from the OMA to the FOIA, to the money, to how it was awarded, to who it was awarded to, and when it was awarded. I will then make recommendations to this board, and it will be a public document that everybody in this room can have a copy of. And I will come here when I'm done with that report, and I will stand over there at that dais or on that podium, and I will give you a chance to review it and ask me any questions you want. And if you want me to come back, I will come back, and you can answer questions of me until you're content. I don't think there's any person in this room that I'm aware of, at least on this dais and I've been working with and in the staff, that doesn't want this to come to a conclusion and a result. I have no bias. I don't have any, I don't know anybody on this board. I didn't know anybody on this board before I got hired, and I don't know anybody inside the Will County Veterans Commission that I have a friendship with or an association with. I have nothing. I'm a former police officer. I went to the FBI Academy. I'm a former state's attorney. I've been an attorney for over 20 years practicing in this arena. Secondly, so that's the update on where I'm at. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to September. That was my original hope, but the voluminous documents that have come over are prohibiting me to get through some of them. So I am working on it. I hope to start interviews already. I'm a little bit behind. But that's because it's just been a lot of documents. And some documents are irrelevant, some of them are relevant, but I have to look at all of them. And I'm not going to skip over or come to a quick conclusion and skip over a document and find out later on that I didn't look somewhere or I didn't ask the right question. That's my charge, and that's what I plan on doing. Since I started that investigation, I came to the last board meeting and I had to leave early, and then the attorney for this board is no longer representing them. I got a call from the board members and the clerk and the president asking if I could help. I couldn't be here last Thursday. I had a conflict, and I sent an attorney from my office, and I understand I have not reviewed the video and I have not read the minutes, but he called me afterwards, and I understand it didn't go too well. That's unfortunate, and I think to the extent that it didn't go well and I'm to blame, I will take that blame. I will tell you that we're not going to charge for attending that. I'm going to not charge for coming to the meeting tonight because I haven't been appointed by this board to represent them as their parliamentarian for these meetings. If they wanted so, and if they haven't asked me for a scope of work, I will provide them for a letter. If they decide to retain me, that will be fine. Again, I'm not looking backwards I'm looking backwards in my investigation. I'm not looking forward. What I want to do, and my goal here, is to help this board and everybody that's gonna be on this board in the future, and whoever else is gonna sit up here, is make sure that we have solid rules of procedure and solid rules for how to deal with FOIA, how to deal with the Open Meetings Act, and how to conduct meetings in a civil manner. I've been doing this for over 20 years. This morning, I was in another village, and we had a number of speakers over a police brutality case. I had 2, 5, 7, and 9 this morning looking at me, first thing in the morning. Well, there is a way to run the meeting. There is a way to run it right, and that's what I'm gonna try to help them do. My goal for tonight is to get us through the meeting. We're not gonna do executive sessions. There's nothing to discuss. We'll bring back those issues for September 9th meeting. Tonight, they're gonna instruct me to work on the bylaws. I'm just getting up to speed. Obviously, I have a lot on my plate. I'm trying to run an investigation, but at the same time, I want to make sure that everybody in this room is assured that the information that they're getting is proper, that it's transparent, and they're getting it in a timely manner. I've dealt with FOIA for too long, and I watched FOIA grow up, I'm very familiar with the ins and outs of it. I'm going to help the staff make sure that those FOIAs are going to be answered in a timely and proper manner. I know how to do it. They're going to forward it over to me, and I'm going to work with them, and we're going to get the documents, and if there's redactions that are proper under the law and exemptions, we'll insert them, and if not, we will just turn over the documents. So I'm very hopeful that you understand. I've seen some of the emails. I've read the Edgar County Watchdog's site. I've been actually reading it for years, going back. I can't tell you the number of years, but I remember the Orland Park Library issue, and I remember a number of other issues when they first got put on the map, and the Buckeye issue in Tinley Park. And I'm very familiar with their work. I applaud their work. I think as it was Justice Brandeis said, the best thing for transparency is sunshine. And that's what we need here is we have to turn the lights on, and if that's the case, I will make sure that it's done. And if it's not followed, you can trust me this, I won't be here, because we all need a government that is open and honest and we can believe in. And that's my goal. And I don't think there's anybody on this dais that I've run across that doesn't share those feelings with me. What we do have to do is clean up some of our rules, get a little more proficient on the OMA and our Open Meetings Act, because everyone's entitled to know what's going on, but there are certain things that the board has to do to conduct business that are properly exempt. Hiring of personnel, things like that. At the end of the day, it's all gonna be done in the open meetings. It's all gonna be done in an open meeting. And I hope that we can restore some of the trust, because I do know that this board does do great work, that the Will County, to make sure we'll keep providing pound for pound some of the best services in the state to our veterans. I thank all of you for your time and your effort to make all this possible. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to form a working relationship with you. And I hope that Peterson Johnson Mary can, and in the future, to provide all of you with the representation to keep your mission a reality. Thank you.
I call to order this regular meeting of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County for Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. Time is 6:13. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stand, yes. Prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight safely. Please guide us in our deliberations so we may make prudent and wise decisions for those whom we serve. Amen. Amen.
Can we get a roll call, please?
President Jack Piccolo,
Here.
Secretary Denise Williams, present. Sergeant at Arms Amanda Cook, here. Chaplain Jim Ziegler,
Present.
Judge Advocates, Member Tom Milnick. Here. Member Janet Luke, excused. Member Steve Beneke.
Present.
Member Past Chair Vic Martinka.
Absent.
Past Chair John York.
Absent.
Past Chair Wayne Horn.
Here. We have a quorum. Are there any guests or first-time attendees that like to speak? Introduce yourself to the commission. Okay.
I can't hear.
We'll now start.
We have.
Okay,
Hey, Jack. Larry Shaver, VFW Post 5917, American Legion Post 1288, American President of American Veterans Helping Veterans. Rock.
good. Anybody else?
Zach Judd, K-9 for Veterans, Midwest spokesperson.
Thank you. Okay, thank you all and welcome. We'll now start our public comment session, 3 minutes. Please line up in front of the podium.
Since we haven't formalized our, public comment section, you can have 3 minutes, and then if you want to go over, you can petition for the, an extra time, and we'll put it to a vote of the board for the extra time. That's the proper way to do it.
All right, so my name is Raj Pillai, alternate delegate to the Plainfield American Legion. You guys have seen me here before. And Mr. O'Grady, thank you for saying what you said. You know, I do want to remind you, though, that the commission is not this board. And I'll explain that here in a second. I've come out here before, and you've read some of the articles. 8 out of 10 of the board members that are sitting on this board are ineligible to be on the commission. So when you say that you are going to help this commission, I hope that we all understand that you are, you know, hopefully representing the commission, not the ineligible board members. So the evidence for what you spoke about is direct, precise, and irrefutable in my opinion. And this is not secret documents that are out there. This is information that is public. A lot of it's FOIA. If anybody wants a link, I can provide it. It's in a shared drive. It's PDF, indexed, and everybody can read it. Thanks to the close cooperation with many professionals and close friends, we have been able to shed light on what I consider unprecedented actions by some individuals on this board. These are actions that have not only hurt veterans, but damaged the standing and reputation of this commission. And we all know this. As commission members, some of us are disappointed, appalled, and even angry. Despite that anger, we exercise patience when we ask you questions. We exercise patience when we condemn your actions publicly. We're still exercising that same level of patience. However, you've taken our patience as a sign of weakness. So, as commission members, we decided to take deliberate, swift, and direct actions against you. Some of you. We are not taking this action against the commission. Just you, the few rogue, fake board members that have no right to sit up there. Today we are condemning you. The time for warnings are over. Our actions, just like the evidence, will be direct, precise, and irrefutable. Before we follow through on this action, we would maybe ask you to resign. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. It's time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Sam. I'm here tonight because I'm a court-appointed special processor, and I'm here to serve 7 of the 9 members here today. People I'm here to serve: Jack, Denise, Amanda, Jim, Tom, Vic, and Wayne. You can call it.
you can
So
contact
the
me.
total, it would be Jack, Denise, Amanda, Jim, Tom, Vic, John, Wayne, and Shannon. Did everybody? So 2, 3, and 9.
You can contact, I'll give you my card if you wanna contact me next time. I'll arrange for service, you don't have to do this, okay? Thank you.
Do my job, I did.
I know, but we all have a job to do.
Thanks, sir.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you. My name is Kirk Allen. I haven't seen those documents, but I believe they're in their individual capacity, not as board members. So I'm not sure if you're representing, if you want to accept service, I don't know if you can do that as individuals. Might be
You
something.
can arrange for service, that's for sure, so I have not read it, so go ahead.
At the last meeting, I raised an issue, and it appears that's going to be addressed, and I thank you for addressing the importance of an adopted public comment policy. Because saying you adopted Robert's rules is not a public comment policy. I would like to bring your attention, and I brought this to your Sergeant of Arms on her way out, which she ignored me. Section 1, under 50 ILCS 105/1, County Board. No member of a county board during the term of office for which he or she is elected may be appointed to, accept, or hold any office other than, and then it lists the offices that you're allowed to hold. This is not one of them. You're statutorily prohibited under the Officers Prohibited Activity Act from sitting on this board. I would ask that you resign immediately. I would also encourage you to get legal advice on that. We had a very similar situation in Shelby County. IDOT chimed in on it. Contrary to what the county said, they can't do it. And they were proven that they can't do it today. In order to establish trust, that openness and transparency comes with being able to have a dialogue, not an attitude. And we don't want to assume, and that's where attitudes come from on both sides of the aisle. When I am forced to assume your position on something, it's going to come across pretty harsh at times, and vice versa. And that's why we ask questions. And we can ask questions, and no, you're not required to answer. But part of that openness and transparency and importance of our First Amendment is to create a dialogue, because that enhances that trust that this attorney spoke about. And of all agencies, a group representing veterans, I think this is the most important purpose when it comes to people's comments and wanting answers to questions. And I pray that you do that. I also pray that you apologize for what happened at the last meeting by claiming to have a policy that you don't have, and it appears to be recognized you don't have, because the public was misrepresented by what you represented at the last meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
If you wanna email that to me, you have my card, you can email me, and I'll ask the state's attorney for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As you know, if you don't know me, my name is Dan Miller. I'm not representing anybody other than me. As a United States Marine of 30 years and a veteran, who's had the advantage of using the VAC to help myself and my family. Like I said last time I was here, a lot of accusations flying back and forth, a lot of angry words, yet we still don't have any proof either way. People keep saying we do, but nothing has been shown yet. And thank you, sir, for stepping up and talking and saying that now you've got the helm, per se, and you're going to conduct a proper investigation. I myself, as a former police officer, understand that, and you're innocent until proven guilty. Once that happens, then those that are wrong will be dealt with in the proper manner. And I hope that we've learned from last meeting that we're all adults, and calling names to each other and getting angry isn't going to get anywhere. One of the things I did notice, and I did some looking too, this question about this money, a question that I came up with, and this is just a comment. It went through different layers of the Will County government, is my understanding. And yet, no one seemed to step up and stop it. So is that telling me that all of the Will County is wrong? Or are we maybe jumping the gun here because we don't have all the facts? And the last thing I'm going to throw out here is, as a veteran, and there's a lot of veterans in the room right now, you know, the war's over, guys and girls, and people are forgetting. They are. It's part of life. Life moves on. And stuff like this makes it harder for veterans in general, for veterans organizations across the board. And I run into that in my job now, as I work for Wounded Warrior Project and I travel this country trying to help veterans. And this kind of stuff just diminishes the whole idea of trying to help our nation's warriors, both men and women, across the board. So I hope that we can come to a quick conclusion and find out exactly what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. And as I said, if there are people that are guilty, they'll pay. But if it turns out that this is all something that just was a lot of miscommunication, then I think we all owe each other a huge apology for throwing all these jabs back and forth that really didn't solve or have not solved the thing. My thoughts.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Zach Jett. I'm with Canines for Veterans, not-for-profit. First off, I would like to thank the BAC Will County for helping out many veterans from our organization. We have sent many veterans their direction to get help in whatever means they need. Secondly, I looked into this after seeing an article online, and I found by simple searches online that the organization that was used for marketing, AG Consulting, was used by other Will County organizations, such as the State's Attorney's Office and a couple others. If there's an issue with the consulting organization itself, then it's not with just the VAC. It's more along the lines of, is it out for rolling heads, or is it just for a means of finding somebody to blame for the $495,000? I understand it is a very large sum of money. It's more money than half of us will ever see at one time in our life. So, just like Dan had stated earlier, we're forgetting where we are. We're all here. We're all trying to help each other. We're trying to help veterans coming home still to this day. There's a huge pandemic in this world, and we need to realize that it's not just about the problem that we see in front of us, it's the problem that we see in front of us 2 years from now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William Sutton. I am the delegate for the Plainfield American Legion, Post 13. I'm also a commission member. When I first came up to this site here, I brought up a fact that, yes, there's money missing. Somebody's gonna figure it out. We have to. There's questions, they have to be answered. But at the same time, I've been asking those questions about eligibility. Never get answered. And that's as a commission member, which is not right. And I'm so glad that you're here, sir, to make sure that these questions do get answered. Again, when I first came up here, there was a comment made before here that myself and my alternate, Raj, we're the Brown Boys. And usually that would set me into a bit of rage and I'd be very upset. But I decided to go ahead and embrace it. So I had this shirt made. Picture me and Raj. And it says the Brown Boys. I'm not going to point out people. They know who they are. That would be wrong to do it, because I don't want that person's reputation to be ruined. But at the same time, I do want an apology. Now, again, as a commission member, I've asked these questions, never get answered. Last week, Mr. Piccolo, you asked how many delegates were here. We all raised our hands. You go into the closed session, and you say that delegates can't be in there because we're not voting members. Even though all delegates, and from my interpretation, alternates as well, are voting members, and we can go into closed session meetings. Because there's things that we all as a commission have to address as a whole, not just you all sitting up here. And I was escorted out by one of the court security. That was embarrassing. And I say that because not only am I a veteran, a Purple Heart veteran, but I'm also a veteran service officer myself. So I have to follow the same rules as your staff does. I'm also the judge advocate for our state association, which means I have to make sure that all rules are followed correctly. But what happened? You guys kicked out your own judge advocate, so they couldn't be in there to help interpret the bylaws and laws. That's not fair. That's not right. You all brought this upon yourselves when you decided to take action into your own hands instead of allowing everybody to be there to help you out with this situation. As a VAC, yes, the VAC is a great organization. The VAC helps out hundreds of thousands of veterans everywhere. And that's a good thing. Please, 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 do not ruin this upon yourselves. May I petition for more time, please?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you have a motion for, more time, you want, normally we have a board vote.
We gotta have a
Sort of
board vote.
additional.
Motion for more time.
Yeah, so we have a second.
All in favor? Any?
Continue on.
Thank you. And I do appreciate you all for doing that. That was the first time you guys allowed a commission member to get more time. So I do appreciate that you all did that, and I appreciate that you're taking the steps to do your due diligence and get everything involved. But I will say this, when there are questions, please answer them. Yes, we got heated last week. That was last week. This is today. Everybody's calm, cool, and collective. We should do the same as well as commission members. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm John Kraft. A question was presented to Attorney General William J. Scott in 1973. And the Open Meetings Act hasn't really changed that much in this section of the Open Meetings Act. It talks about closed sessions. And the Open Meetings Act says that the public body may close a meeting to the public under certain exceptions, to the public. The question was, I would appreciate your opinion as to whether or not a meeting of a committee of a county board, which is properly closed to the public in accordance with statutes, can be closed to another member of the board who is not a member of the committee. You can probably figure out what I'm getting ready to say. In the opinion, several pages explain his reasoning, but the bottom paragraph, in direct answer to your question, I am of the opinion that a meeting of a committee, which is what you guys are, of a county board, you're a committee of the commission, that is properly closed to the public pursuant to the statutes, may not be closed to a member of the county board who is not a member of the committee. Last week should never have happened. The two people that are members of the committee should have been permitted to attend a closed session. I'll give this to the attorney, and I still have more comment to make. Thanks. And when I read the Military Veterans Assistance Act, you're right. Can I get additional time? Is that 3 minutes already?
I'll make a motion for more time.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Continue.
When I read the Military Veterans Assistance Act, you're right, Mr. Horn. I mentioned March 1st. The correct provision currently in state law now is 60 days from January 1st. So, yeah, March 1st, March 2nd, leap year maybe February 29th. And it also gives powers to the Veterans Assistance Commission. And the legislature means things when they write things down in statute. The Veterans Assistance Commission has
powers, the superintendent has powers. A committee of the Veterans Assistance Commission was never granted any powers in the statute. And the commission, the entire Veterans Assistance Commission, cannot delegate their statutory powers and duties to a committee. It can't happen. The commission is responsible, not the committee. The committee is basically there to gather information, discuss a few things, make a recommendation to the entire commission. That's what a committee's job is, make recommendations to the commission to vote on. And no commission member who's not a member of the committee should be asked to blindly take what information the committee gives them and have to vote on something, especially if they were prohibited from entering into a closed session on a topic that was recommended. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Lisa McLassen. I'm an Army veteran. I'm also a retired civil servant. For 34 and a half years, I retired from the Pentagon as National Security Senior Policy Advisor. Many of those 3 decades was spent conducting investigations related to misconduct, as well as dealing with the 10 largest AFL-CIO unions representing DoD employees. I've seen my share of fights. I've seen my share of loud meetings. I am the judge advocate, as you heard from one of the speakers. Thank you for recognizing me. I was appointed by the board in April. I was confirmed by vote of the members. And under Article 6 of the bylaws, officers include a judge advocate that may be appointed. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that that's who I am or that's my role, because in the last 3 meetings, my name hasn't been called even for the role. So I'm telling you who I am. I understand my role as judge advocate. Mr. O'Grady covered a lot of it this evening, is to provide counsel regarding the adherence to the MVAA, the OMA, the Illinois Constitution, and the United States Constitution. Unfortunately, I've been kicked out of the last 2 closed meetings, so I've been unable to provide such advice and counsel. Without an opportunity to do so, I'm taking this public opportunity to do so. Again, I dealt with unions, I dealt with misconduct, I've conducted hundreds, if not more, internal investigations. People typically respond in one of 2 ways. They cover up, they deflect, they blame, they say we've been doing it this way for 28 years, or they admit their mistake. They participate in fact-finding and determining what went wrong, and they work to fix it. Which group do you want to be? I propose, this is my advice and counsel as a judge advocate, I propose that the board open themselves to asking for assistance outside of the investigatory process, assistance in determining why these violations of the OMA have occurred, instituting corrective measures based on good business practices, and assistance from the group out here in the room who clearly know more about the OMA than many of the rest of us. I'd like to petition for 2 more minutes.
I'll make a motion to petition.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And continue.
Thank you. To my Marine brothers on the other side of the room, would you be willing to assist the board in updating their bylaws and procedures to comply with law? Hoorah? Anybody? Mr. Kraft, would you be willing to assist this board in reviewing their bylaws and procedures and developing legally sufficient documents and processes?
I'm not an attorney, but absolutely.
as a person of interest that will help the county.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the room? Show of hands, shout out, favorite call, who would be willing to join the board in a collaborative, cooperative manner to approach the problems that we're having so that we don't do it again. Thank you very much for your participation. One thing, as a former member of the military, we all share, anyone who's worn a uniform, is our core value of integrity. That value says that we do the right thing even when nobody's looking. I implore you, board, to ask the folks here that have indicated their interest in helping to come to the table and help so that we can do the right thing. I'm not asking for you to resign. I'm not asking for you to step down. I'm asking for you to be in that second group with integrity that says, yes, we made some mistakes, but we're still here to support the veterans of Will County. And in order to do that, we need everyone's help. It does take a village. In the Army, I had my SMART book. I took an oath that said I will never forget that I'm an American soldier, responsible for my actions, and dedicated to the principles which made my country free. My oath never ended.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll make my comments as brief as possible. My name is Larry Shaver. A lot of people in here know me. Been around for about 30 years. I'm a former combat Marine. I lost track of exactly what was going on here because I dealt directly between Christy McNichol and myself throughout the last 13 years. I picked up the slack with my organization in order to fulfill a lot of obligations to help veterans that wasn't being done here for what I was told was this and that and legal reasons and so on. Even though they were eligible, vetted, and perfectly standing there needing help. I don't understand what has happened.
Sir, can I stop you for a second?
Yes,
Would you like to petition for more time?
yes, please.
I'll make that motion for you to have more time.
Thank you.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The reasoning behind, I deal with VACs throughout the 14 or 15 counties of northern Illinois. The ones that have VACs, I deal directly with them. I know the ins and outs of most of them, and they don't have these type of problems. These problems have developed in the last 5, 6, 7 years and are just now coming to light. I would ask that the veteran leaders of the community get together, sort this out, get back to the job that we have at hand of helping veterans. We've got a lot of them come home here now. We've got a lot of them that need a lot of help. A lot of them that are laying in the background, not asking for help. Somebody else has to push them a little bit to get them there. That's supposed to be our job. That's what we're supposed to do. And I ask you in all honesty, as a combat veteran, to step up and do that. And I would ask the commission to please right your wrongs, step up and do the job that needs to be done, whomever sits on that commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Normally, we only allow one public comment. Are you coming up to talk about public comment again?
I came to ask you a question, sir, if that's okay, as a commission member.
Well, you got my card, right? I'll give you my card and you can get
I have
it.
your card.
I'll get it to
It's a
you.
quick question, can I just ask you a quick
Sure, go ahead.
question? You stated that you would, you stated that you would possibly represent individually. Would you be accepting of the last 3 that have to be served?
You know what, I will help facilitate it. So I'll give you my card on the way out, and if there's a way I can help facilitate, I don't know those people, so I'll contact them, and if I can help facilitate it, I will. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
If I may, Chairman, I don't recall if I had used all 3 minutes, but I just had one quick question in relation to what went on at the last meeting, and I think it's important for the attorney to hear the question, if I may ask it. At the last meeting, you guys took action to approve a budget. My question is very simple. Of the $495,000 that was spent, was it appropriated in the budget to spend? Thank you.
Thank you. Just for complete public comment. Our next item of business tonight is approval of our last regular meeting minutes, July 14th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting?
Unfortunately, not correct.
Just have a motion to table, superseding motion to table for the next meeting in September, to approve the meeting minutes from July 14th.
I'll make a motion, table the minutes from July 14th to our September meeting.
Second.
Give it a second.
Do I have a second? Second.
Who seconded?
All in favor? Opposed? No further comments, we'll have a roll call. So, we're going superintendent's report. Our next item on business tonight is the superintendent's report. I would ask staff to present this report.
So Greg Wise is a senior VSO. He is in charge of maintaining the
Turn the
award.
microphone on, just because we have a, so excited about that.
Greg Wise is senior VSO. He is in charge of updating our award log, so he is going to brief everybody on the information.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a 13, what's that? How's that? Everyone can hear me? All right, good evening. Again, Greg Wise, 13-year Marine Corps veteran, senior veteran service officer for the Veteran Assistance Commission. You already pulled a sheet. As you can see, new awards with the assistance we've been giving to the veterans and their survivors are close to $3.5 million that we brought in year to date. Recurring awards from fiscal year 2015 to today, we're looking at $33.5 million. Something else I wanted to bring up that we haven't discussed before, this is not accounting for 504 claims that we have submitted thus far this year, and we have only accounted for about 142 notification letters that have come back. So it's a slow process. The VA is working on these claims. Everyone's probably received a letter in the mail saying it's taking a little bit longer for them to get the mail out to you, so they're apologizing through their letters. Another thing I wanted to bring up, which has to do with the award log, is the PACT Act 2022. So with that, there's gonna be a lot of opening. They're opening up a lot more conditions for the Gulf War veterans. They're opening up 2 more conditions for the Vietnam veterans, one of being hypertension. That's the reason why I bring it up today, because hypertension is gonna be a huge retroactive payment going out to the veterans who were denied in the past for that condition. Any questions? That concludes my award briefing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments?
Why don't?
Board, by the board. None? Thank you. Next item up is new business. And the new business, our only item is discussion, so to adopt bylaws and rules for our commission meeting.
There's a few more items in this agenda.
Oh. Okay.
We really did award law, didn't want to do these financial statements.
So Project 150 report. As of July 24th, we have spent $132,995.30. Remaining, we have $17,004.70.
Question, how many veterans are we, do we currently have
emergency shelter.
Tony said we had one more coming today, right? How many are there?
The emergency shelter right now is 3.
And tomorrow we are having, our Assistance Wednesday where the other organizations are coming in and Joe is meeting with them to help with permanent housing. Any questions about that?
Question, board?
Moving on, financial assistance report. Served 8 veterans last month. Shelter is right on about average, $1,400. Gas, we spent $68.92. Electric, $256.48. Water was $103.44. Personal products was $200. Food is $0. Any questions?
Board, none?
Second, third, second.
Motion to accept the superintendent's report.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion approved. Okay, my mistake, sorry. We'll now go to new business. Under new business, our only item for discussion to adopt bylaws and rules for commission meeting. Commissioner, got any questions, comments? None? There being no further discussion, is there a motion to direct council to draft and formalize the rules of our meeting?
So moved.
Second. Favor? I move. Stephen White. We got a roll call.
Okay, Denise Williams? Yes. Samantha Coe?
Yes.
Jim Sangler? Yes or no? Tom Melnick? Yes or no?
To discuss amending the bylaws.
Yes or no?
Yes or no? To direct
Open the
council
process
to
for amending the bylaws.
look at the bylaw draft rules for meetings.
Draft rules for meetings.
Yes or no?
What is the proposal?
The direct council to work on bylaws.
Yes.
Steve Mackey?
Yes.
Lee Horn?
Yes. Motion carried.
No, sorry. President Pickles, yes.
Yes. Next order of business, old business. Our only item in old business is the continued discussion of the fiscal year 2023 budget. Do I have a motion to approve Assistance Commission budget for the fiscal year?
I'll go ahead and make the motion. And then after we have a second, if we want to have a discussion, we can.
Right.
So you want us to second?
I'll second.
Okay, open for discussion.
First things first, thank you for getting this, Jen, I appreciate that. This helps us to decide if we want to pass it as it is or not. Anybody who can't see it, she basically outlined what we need approval to transfer, and that's really just our salaries for our employees. And anything else is able to be transferred within our budget according to this, right? I understand correctly?
Any other questions?
So I spoke with Karen Hennessy, she's in here, sorry, usually I'm loud enough. Spoke with Karen Hennessy, the finance director. She did explain that, changes do need to be made to the 23 budget. They wouldn't be amendments yet because it has not been passed. Let me know and I can contact Rashawn Howard, and that can be taken care of ahead of time, so you don't have to do an amendment moving forward. So you're still within that time frame if you do wanna move money around.
So I'm wondering, moving monies from the line item, shelter, 91,000, was that completed?
Nothing has been moved. Nothing's been moved, no, nothing's been moved.
The most recent direction was I asked her to tell us what can be moved and it can't. And then the staff, I didn't direct them, nor do I think anybody else directed them to actually move anything. It would be part of our discussion now.
Excuse me, point of order, doesn't the full commission have to approve the budget?
Can't ask a point of order from the audience. If you wanna, I'll get an answer to that question later. Normally, points of order are just for the, city board members on the dais, but I'll get you the answer to that question.
So, at this point then, do we want to move? We've got $91,000, I don't have that in front of me. We have $91,000 that was allocated in remaining $97,884 remaining in, I'm sorry, yeah, emergency rentals and emergency shelter. I think that we need at this point to direct, I'm looking at, tell me if I'm reading this wrong.
You said remaining, I'm sorry, you mean remaining from FY 22 or are you projecting in FY 23? Which one are you looking at?
You tell me I'm looking at this and it's not telling me.
So remaining for FY 22, we have 80,964.
Remaining from, right, this is the remaining. Fiscal year 2022, and it's 545015.
No, 545010 is rentals.
545, I'm talking about 545015. Rentals and emergency shelter.
Correct, that's the ESG grant.
That entire amount is the ESG grant?
Correct, 545015 is emergency shelter, 545010 is rentals.
How much was the ESG grant?
150,000.
Okay. So the rentals and land and building, that is intended for our
Financial assistance, correct, that's our
financial
budget.
assistance program. Okay,
Right.
so it is 545010 that I am asking about, and it's stating that we have, the revised budget is saying $91,114.
That is beginning, correct.
And actual expense right now is $10,150 for this year.
Correct.
We have a remaining $80,964.
Correct.
I think we need to move money from there into professional services. It doesn't seem like it would be possible to spend another $80,000 on rentals, land, and building for financial assistance. At this point, it's just, I'm not understanding why that huge amount is there to begin with.
Because the budget was never amended previously when the financial assistance program was changed.
Okay, so you do need to move this money then into professional services.
And just to clarify, you're talking about FY 23, not 22, correct?
Yes, I'm talking about 23, the proposed budget. And other professional services, is that the appropriate, is that the professional services that pays for things like lawyer's fees?
Correct.
Okay, so that's 541090. When is the fiscal year ending?
November 29th, 30th. December 1 is the beginning of the new fiscal year.
Okay, so we've spent just $10,000 this year.
Correct.
And I'm wondering if we need to have more than a beginning budget amount for 2023 and 545010, more than probably $25,000.
If we do need more money with the board approval, we can transfer. With board approval, if needed, we can transfer money into that account if something were to come up and we need funds for rental.
So is there a reason then, and this is my proposal, then my suggestion is that we move of the $91,114, if we just make it a very simple, moving $70,000 from rentals to other professional services. And this is one of the questions we discussed last time, was the idea that from professional services, we can move it back to wherever it needs to be.
Correct.
So is there a reason to not do it?
Not really.
I don't see any reason not to, if it's the will of the board. Yeah, so if you wanna do it, Denise, go ahead and make your motion. So I'd like to propose to remove $70,000 for the fiscal year 2023 budget from.
Discussion, there's only discussion on the agenda, there's no motion to vote on the agenda.
Yes, there's a motion to approve the budget discussion. I'm looking at the agenda that says that there's a motion to approve the discussion.
Well, we council, how did you have council?
Agenda are you reading off?
Section 70 business states discussion and adopt bylaw, section 8, old business FY 23 budget discussion. But the paper with the $80,000 says FY 22 on top of it that they're referring to, is that?
Yeah, that's correct.
So we've got, but the FY 23 budget
You
discussion.
can give them the direction, but you can't vote on it, so you can give her direction and move it in, and next time, like, bring it back, vote on it.
It says 22.
Thank you.
We have time.
Can I make a quick suggestion? Seeing as that we do need to vote on the budget, and I would like to have the entire commission vote on the budget, can we have a full commission meeting in September as well as October, so we can do that?
Whatever
It is? Perfect, let's put it on that agenda, done. So,
So there is no motion.
no motion.
Right. And then they have direction. Any further discussion?
No.
No motion.
Okay. So we go to commission then, next item.
They do commission outreach every Tuesday. Greg is at the Olin Park Vet Center. We just signed the MOU again, extending that for another year. Greg, would you like to speak about how busy you are there? There's no need to get up.
Orland Park Vet Center, I mean, I have a full schedule, every Tuesday that I'm there. I have walk-ins that come through as well. We are definitely assisting, getting the word spread out to have more and more veterans coming to help serve them.
Thank you. Every Thursday, Joe is running his peer support group. Joe, how is that going?
Peer support group goes well. I've coordinated a scenario where we work inside of the DAC. Also, pick up a group and I take them to outsource them to a meeting outside in the community so they can get a better feel for the recovery process.
What time is that, Joe?
Pardon me?
What time is that?
That meeting from 10 to 12 on Thursdays, every Thursday from 10 to 12.
Thank you, Joe. Second Monday, Eric is going out to the Manhattan American Legion for breakfast. How's it been going?
Every month, there's at least 20 veterans that show up. I'd say somewhere around 20 vets. I don't know if it's the free food or the good company, but they always give me a chance to stand up and update them on any changes. The PACT Act was a major thing that they wanted to know about. And we've gotten a lot of referrals from there. A lot of the people there we've already filed claims for. And they're helping to spread the word that our office is highly efficient in navigating the VA system.
Thank you.
That's it for outreach, okay?
No.
We have a closed session on here, it's not required, it was put on here as a placeholder, so we're gonna skip that and move on to adjournment, number 11.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Next meeting, full commission meeting, September 13th, this is written wrong on our agenda. September 13th, 6 p.m. here.
Which agenda? Seriously, the 13th? Oh, mine says it.
Yes, it does. Clear, bold.
I unplugged you.
Time is 7:07.